one of the big questions that we've had so far for the people that we've interviewed was when it comes to emailing, when it comes to phone outreach, and this would be like cold outreach. How many phone calls, emails would you say that you get with someone trying to sell you something, right? Per week?
Per week. I broke it down per day.
Oh, perfect.
So honestly, I broke it down for you because literally per day, I think I'll get at least 3 cold like emails. I get at least 1 to 3 phone calls. And on LinkedIn, I get, no joke, 2 to 10 outreaches a day per day.
From AEs and SDRs and BDRs? Really?
Per
Wow.
day. So it's insane. I don't answer my phone anymore. So my work phone goes to my cell phone and I don't, people have to leave messages because it's too much. And I would say it's only gotten that way probably since COVID.
Yeah, that makes sense. People are working in big lists and they're working from home, and so they can make more calls. And yeah, I get it. So that's actually a good transition into the next question, which is when it comes to like the types of products, services that are being pitched to you, that are being that people are reaching out to, what would you say like the most common types of products or services that you're getting contacted about?
So I think for the majority, there's like 3 areas that I feel like are sort of equally. So a lot of employee benefits. So things, whether it's a broker, a software that's benefit, like something around employee benefits, rewards programs, things like that. So employee benefits, new software. So like people who are promoting like remote work and they have this software, like, so a lot of software companies, but sort of that are around the HR space. And then I get a lot of staffing and recruiting, external staffing and recruiting. Can we help you? Can we help you do this? Yeah. So I would say those are the top 3.
Okay. Any oddball ones?
Yeah, I get some oddball ones that are more like, should be more for like an operations person. So I do get those every once in a while, and I'm like, I'm clearly the wrong person here. Yeah.
Right. How, I guess you talked about your not really taking cold calls anymore, but that you still get cold emails, a lot of LinkedIn. How likely are you when you do get a cold? I mean, do you look through the cold emails or look through the LinkedIn direct messages? And after that, how likely would you say, on like a scale to 1 to 10, right? Like how likely are you to take a meeting from cold outreach?
So it depends. So to your question first about, do I read everything? Yes, 100%. I read everything because you never know when that one product or service may really be of value. But I will also say that prior to the madness of LinkedIn now having so many in-mails and things, I was really the type of person that I would literally respond to like everyone who came in through my LinkedIn, just because that's the type of person I am. It pains me now that I just cannot respond to everybody, but I do read everything, and the things that I can respond to, I'll respond to. And the things that pique my interest, I will 100% set up a meeting and just sort of dive in a little bit deeper. Because if I don't need the service now, it might be something I might need later. Or, I have a huge HR network. So when we're networking, if I've heard of something, I'm happy to like share it with, my other HR folks that I talk to. So I would say if it's something that is super useful, I'm probably a 9 or a 10 likely to schedule a meeting from a cold call.
Well, and it depends too, right? Because like if you're not in need of a service, or if you just like, or if you just re-upped a subscription to whatever service you might have, right? Because I mean everything's SaaS now anyway, so it's like, you know, um, that obviously plays a factor, you know.
It
Um,
does. But I also have a lot of foresight. And if I see that if a company out there is working on something that is something that might be potentially good in the future, I'll definitely hear them out. I mean, there's been a lot of data analytics people to reach out to me too. So everybody who just has like data that they want to share, or do you want to test this out? But there are a lot of other useful things out there. So, and I love the fact that people are so entrepreneurial and people are doing
mhm.
so many great things. Again, if it is something in my space, I most likely will hear you out. If it's something I feel that's maybe not being done, or something that you're improving upon that's useful. So yeah, I don't know if I'm unique in that way, but I do like to sort of, and I have the time to do that a little bit too. So I have some,
Yeah,
I don't have the time to like respond to everyone, but if it's something important, I will make the time to
yeah,
listen. Yeah.
absolutely. What would you say is, annoy is not the right word. What would you say is the most frustrating part, or maybe the thing that bothers you the most about cold outreach when it's directly to you? What is there anything that stands out to you?
That I don't like about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I will say if someone hasn't really done their research on what I do, I mean, if they send me something that I'm like, you clearly have no idea what I do, um, that's sort of annoying. And I will kind of like not respond to those people, because it's just like, really, if you took the time to understand just even something little about me, um, or what I do, or my company that I'm currently with, um, those cold outreaches, I feel like I'm more likely to respond to, because they've taken the time to at least read one little thing about me or my company or something. It's when they have no idea what you do and they're just sort of tossing it and seeing if it sticks. That kind of is like, to me, like, why would I respond to you? Yeah.
yeah, and that's a very common answer that we've gotten. A lot of people have been like, like you can tell when it's automated. You can absolutely tell when something's automated or if something's personalized. So, follow up question to that: Are you? It sounds like you would be more likely to then take a meeting, or at least entertain a conversation with somebody that you feel like they did personalize it a little bit.
Exactly. Like, even if they just went to my LinkedIn and saw an article that I wrote and they were like, oh, hey, loved that article that you wrote and would love to, like, get to know you a little bit better, or have you, or kind of, what you did. I think it was, yeah, it was nice. It's nice when people just have a little bit of something to say to you that maybe leads you to believe that they know your experience level, or they know your company, or they know something. Yeah.
Yeah,
About of anything about anything. Yeah. That's a little
right.
personalized. I think that is so much better than just someone saying, hey, can I
Hmm.
saw you, even, hey, I saw you have open positions, can I help you out? That's not enough. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. I mean, that's, even though they saw I had an open position, it's still not like, no. Yeah.
just name the position.
Yeah. Or just give me something.
That would be
Yeah.
better.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always love the one where they'll be like, "Oh, I see that you went to Nebraska. I went to Nebraska Wesleyan." Which is like, it's one of the better schools in Nebraska. It's a small private school, but it's one of the better schools. So if it's somebody like local, and they're like, "Oh, I see you went to Nebraska Wesleyan," it's like, yeah, man, like a lot of people did. Like, it's not that
Yeah.
exclusive. Like I got in, so but yeah.
I
Tell
haven't
me
got a
about.
lot of that. But
Yeah. Yeah, that one always, I don't know why. That one just, it just feels so easy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It just feels kind of like I would say I'm a little bit the same as you, where it's like if you're gonna send me a personal, like, because you can tell the difference if something's personalized or if something's, just copy and pasted. If you're gonna take the time to do it, why not go a little bit further? You know what I mean? Like it's again, it doesn't, like you said, it's say the position that's open, like that's
Yeah.
simple.
It
So I don't
doesn't
know.
take much,
No, it does not take much.
but it
And
is
it
that little thing that matters.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, when we were back in the office before COVID, I actually had a company that um, really wanted to work with us. And they would come into my office, like they would cold call on foot like that. But
Hmm.
every time they came, they brought me a book that was like relevant to um, my field or what I was doing or like leadership training or something. And I always used to take those books and create a training out of it for my leaders because I was like, wow. And those were super thoughtful things. And
Yeah,
actually, that rep became a dear friend of mine.
right.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So you can personalize it in a lot of different ways, but I thought that was really creative how he continued to come in and we would sit and talk. It was a conversation piece. So anything you
Yeah,
can do to sort of, create that, conversation and the conversation around you understand my needs. I
hmm.
think that's key.
Well, and then even if you don't end up doing, say you don't end up doing business with them, right? Timing, whatever the reason may be, they're so high up on your list of like, hey, I know these people that could use that. And because you went the extra mile and because you took your time to do this, like I'm gonna throw you over there. And you know what I mean? And maybe we'll be a fit in the future, but I know like three people because HR people are connected. They just are with each other almost exclusive,
100%.
right?
And we have
And
a lot of
so
forums. I sit on an advisory board and it's easy
sure.
to share because people are constantly asking. That's the other thing I will say. So during COVID, when people do their outreach via email or LinkedIn, and I've met some great folks, they provide, and if to your point, if I'm not ready to use them, they're still hanging back and saying like, I will be a resource to you. And I've had a couple that have provided me like invaluable information and resources. And again, those will be the people I will think of first when there is a need or when someone asks, what's that? So being a resource is another good way to sort of have that, soften up that cold calling stuff too. I mean, because
Hmm.
it's wonderful. I don't think there are many HR people that would turn down a resource.
Absolutely. And it's so great that you said that too, because the most constant or the most consistent rather answer that we've gotten from the people that we've interviewed and the people that we've talked to has been it's very referral based and it's very like, you network based. And so yeah, yeah, you can't even it's great that that's a consistent thing because that's given us a good a good data point for sure, for
Totally.
sure. What would be, I guess you kind of talked about the book, the rep that kept bringing you the books. Is there any other unique outreach methods that you've seen in the past, especially with your experience? I'm sure you've seen, even before social media and all those types of things. So it was probably you probably got a lot of mailers then, emails, those types of things. But is there a unique outreach that you've seen in the past that maybe worked or didn't work, but it was still unique?
So there is a yeah, so there's a gentleman with the emails. I actually love the emails and I just responded because they were just too creative to not respond to. So he would send an email, like the first email was like, a picture of him with, it was like, can we have coffee? I'd have to go back to it, but can we have coffee? Then you open up the email and it's a picture of him and he's got a Starbucks cup in his hand and with his name on it. And then the other hand, he's got a Starbucks cup with my name on it. And just like the picture, just like, can we have coffee? And then, and then kind of a little blurb about what he wanted to talk about. And it was super clever. And I responded to that. And I was like, not really at this time, blah, blah, blah. Maybe reach back out to me. So the next reach out was like, do you want to have a drink? Or can we have like, and it was beers in his hand. And they were just so cute. He's like on his balcony in his New York apartment. And he's got the drink for him, the drink for me. And then just how he said things, it was just super creative, super cute, like where you could not respond to the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Where
I
it's
don't
like
have a
you
need
get
for
little
his
too
service.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still respond to every email and but yeah, super creative.
That is a wild one. That is a wild one. I love that. I wonder how it worked out for him. You know what I mean? I wonder what he's doing now.
I could
When
email
was
him.
that?
I'm like, it's not been that long ago. I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
I could share the emails with you. You could reach
Yeah.
out to him. Pretty creative guy.
That is creative. That
Yeah.
is really creative. That's funny. What are your overall thoughts and just opinions on LinkedIn outreach in general? Is there, is there like on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say you lie on like if you like it or if you absolutely love it or if you absolutely hate it?
I've been thinking a lot about LinkedIn lately, and it's changed so much just in general. Like, I feel like it's gotten a lot more social, a little bit less businessy. I'm pretty neutral. I mean, I think LinkedIn is a great resource. I think that you have your respectful people on there, and then you've got some, weirdos out there on there. But as far as, the LinkedIn, outreach, I'd say I'm probably pretty new. I don't mind it. Like, a 7, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like it because, I mean, I have LinkedIn Recruiter, I have a recruiter seat. So I do recruit a lot from there. So it's like
Mhm.
a catch 22. But I do like LinkedIn. I have to say it's probably one of the places I spend a lot of my time.
Sure. Well,
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, if you're recruiting and whatnot, I mean, it's a pretty good tool. That's like, that's what the general idea was when they started it, was
exactly.
obviously to have a professional network. But I would agree too, like, because up until I started working with Talent View, I mean, I really wasn't on LinkedIn because I didn't really have a need to be on LinkedIn necessarily. Um, but even since when I graduated in my undergrad in 15, so I haven't been out of college that long. But I mean, it was way different then. Like
Totally.
it was like every post was like a buttoned up like resume, basically.
Absolutely.
And now, I mean, it's
Now it's
it's
anything from personal to political to,
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I read a post this morning that some girl posted how she just bashed HR people. I was like, whoa.
I'm not on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. Come on.
Yeah, it was just really, it's gotten really interesting and it's really changed. But
Right.
it still is I feel it's still useful in a lot of ways.
Sure. Sure. I know we're running up on time here. I'm going to give you one more question if you're okay with that.
I'm
Um,
totally fine with that.
Perfect. So, um, if you could give one recommendation to salespeople, marketing people, recruiters, reaching out to you through LinkedIn, through email, through phone call, just cold outreach in general, what advice would you give them, and why would you give them that advice?
I mean, I think it goes back to what we talked about. I think my recommendation would be truly understand your audience. And then provide them with something they need. If you can, research that enough. I mean, I think all HR people are very similar. And, if you're in an HR department, your needs, there's probably something you could come up with when understanding that someone would need. I don't know if that's your target market, but research the company, research the person. It's so easy to do that now. Personalize it in some way, and just, yeah, be relevant to them. And I think, that's more than half the battle.
Yeah.
And I think most, HR folks, at least the ones that I'm connected to, we're a bit of social creatures. We like to talk to people. So if you've got something, to share, we're probably most likely going to be interested in it if it's something that is relevant. Yeah.